High heels are often seen as a symbol of fashion, elegance, and sometimes even discomfort, but their origin story is far more surprising than most people imagine. The history of high heels is not rooted in women's fashion at all. In fact, they began as a practical tool for men. Centuries ago, high heels were designed for functionality rather than style. One of the earliest known uses of heels can be traced back to Persian cavalry. Soldiers who rode horses wore shoes with elevated heels to help secure their feet in stirrups. The raised heel allowed better stability while riding and made it easier to stand and shoot arrows. In this context, heels represented power, control, and military efficiency, not glamour. As trade and cultural exchanges increased, this unusual footwear began appearing in Europe. By the 16th and 17th centuries, heels had become a status symbol among European aristocracy. Wealthy men wore heels to display authority and prestige. The logic was simple. If someone could walk comfortably in impractical shoes, it signaled that they did not need to perform physical labor. Heels became a visual representation of privilege. One of the most famous enthusiasts of heels was King Louis XIV of France. He was known for his extravagant style and his love of red-heeled shoes. In fact, red heels were restricted to members of his court, turning footwear into a political statement. Height was associated with dominance, and heels literally elevated the wearer above others. During this period, heels were bold, decorative, and distinctly masculine. Interestingly, both men and women wore heels at this time. Fashion was less rigidly gendered, and clothing styles often overlapped. However, as societal ideas about gender began to shift in the 18th century, heels gradually disappeared from men's wardrobes. Men's fashion moved toward practicality, simplicity, and restraint, while women's fashion embraced decoration and ornamentation. This transition marked a significant turning point. Heels began to be associated primarily with femininity. The same shoe that once symbolized masculine power now became linked to beauty, grace, and social expectation for women. Footwear evolved from a tool of authority into an object of aesthetic judgment. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, high heels took on new cultural meanings. Advances in manufacturing made them more accessible, and changing fashion trends redefined their design. Heels became slimmer, more delicate, and increasingly tied to ideals of elegance. They were no longer about social class alone. They became part of personal identity and style. Hollywood played a massive role in popularizing heels. Films and celebrities transformed high heels into icons of glamour and sophistication. The visual impact of heels on posture and movement created an image of confidence and allure. Over time, heels became deeply embedded in modern fashion culture. Yet, the story of high heels is also one of contradiction. They are admired for their visual appeal, but often criticized for discomfort and health concerns. They can represent empowerment for some and pressure for others. The meaning of heels is fluid, shaped by culture, context, and personal perspective. What makes the history of high heels truly astonishing is how dramatically their symbolism has changed. From horseback warriors to royal courts, from male aristocrats to modern fashion runways, heels have constantly evolved. A single design has carried entirely different meanings across time: practicality, status, gender, beauty, and power. Today, high heels are more diverse than ever. They're worn by people of all genders, reinterpreted by designers, and debated in discussions about fashion and identity. Their journey reminds us that even the most familiar objects can have unexpected origins. The next time you see a pair of high heels, it's worth remembering. They were never just a fashion statement. They are a piece of history, carrying centuries of cultural transformation beneath every step.